Hey, Writerly Besties, welcome back to the Writing with Anna New podcast, where we talk about all things writing. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my realistic writing routine and basically what happens when I write my book and sit my butt down at this desk that I'm at this very moment and start writing my book. And as a little preface before we get into my actual writing routine, please don't expect me to kind of be like, I sit down, I have some tea, and then I put on a timer, and then I put a candle on, and then I write for 30 minutes. No. I don't do that. I don't have a particular routine, really. So this is kind of an interesting episode. It's just, I'm going to be real with you guys. Like, I'm going to say how I write and how I usually write, and that's going to be that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so as a little bit of an sort of bird's eye view, I've said this in a few of my episodes and videos where basically I work on one project a month. And I used to work on two projects a month when I started to write, but I realized that may as well just focus on one project, get it done so I can, get projects done in 1 month. And that's usually my goal. However, I've been working on Project O for 2 months now, and that does include last month and then on to this month. So I'm gonna hopefully finish it this month. And I'm not really sure why this project is taking so long. I think it's just because I love it so much and I really want to see it like kind of, just explore all the sort of topics that I really do want to dive into. So that's why it's taking me a bit longer to get through this first draft. But yeah, as a little bit of a bird's eye perspective, I try to work on one project, so I don't, get distracted basically. So I'm working on Project O right now. And how does that look like on a day-to-day, week basis? Like, how does that look? Okay, so sorry to be chaotic, a little bit chaotic here, and sorry if the lighting keeps changing if you are watching the video podcast episode. However, I want to say that I try to write every single day, which usually, no, I don't. I don't write every single. This is going to be realistic, guys. So don't hold me accountable to anything. But I try my best to write every single day. It usually ends up being every 2 days, just because I'm so busy with uni and with YouTube. Because I do actually prioritize you guys and getting content for you guys out there. Yeah, first, and then second my projects, and then uni technically, but uni stresses me out too much, so I usually, bump uni up to my priorities a lot. So that's why I don't really have enough time to write mostly, or at least as much as I want to, as much as I did in the holidays, for example, since now we're kind of going up to assessment weeks. So realistically, the two places, so let's talk about places. Where do I write? Where am I doing this writing? Usually it's either at my desk, or actually I write a lot of my book at uni, and that's actually really interesting because I would think I would write a lot here, but I think as a little bit of a side tip, if you want to get writing done, do it after your class, like after you get some assignment done or something. Like, do it at a public place where there's people and where you can like feel productive and like feel like you need to work just because you're surrounded by people who are working. So yeah, that's a little bit of a tip, and that's what I usually do. So usually I like get to uni at like 9, and then I need to wait for my class that could be at like 12 or sometimes 10, so I have like an hour to kill, and that's when I usually do a lot of writing. I also do a lot of brainstorming at uni when I don't feel like I'm at the mental capacity to actually write any words in my draft. However, I do a lot of like drawing on my iPad, and that means like taking notes on my iPad and researching and stuff like that for my book, which is really, really fun. So I think I'm more in like the more onto like the researchy sort of notesy, because I have been taking notes for other classes. So at uni, very much research based, usually for my a lot for my books. However, I do obviously write a lot quite at uni, but then when I come home, I usually try to write and smash out as many chapters as I can. At most, I write at least a chapter a day or a chapter every 2 days, and that's the best I can do. In terms with actually sitting down and write and like writing, basically what I do is I open my document, I read like the last few paragraphs that I've written in my chapter just to kind of remember where the heck I'm at, because I have no idea really, and sometimes I just forget, and it's just good to get into that sort of atmosphere again. and that sort of perspective that you were in before you stopped writing. A little bit of a side note, I try my best to finish a scene or finish a full chapter when I do end up like finishing writing. Sometimes it's harder because when I'm at uni and I like realize I've been writing for too long, and then it's my class and I have like 5 minutes to get there across campus. So we're like, close my document and just like go full sprint toward my class or else I'll miss it. So sometimes I obviously don't do that. I don't stop my writing in a place that is smart. So then I obviously forget my ideas. And another funny thing is, especially when I'm at uni, this has happened so many times where I'm writing. And basically, how I write is I don't have a particular time I used to set like 2 hours and try to write and then have like a break around the 1 hour mark. But now my brain forces me to have breaks at the most random time. So I can have a break like after a whole hour, and then like 5 minutes later I'll need another break. And then I can go for another full hour, and then I'm like, you know what? I need another break, and then I'll like write for 5 minutes and then like need another break, and then I'll go for like a full. It's so bizarre. And basically like what happens is I'm at uni and I'm writing and I'm having so much fun, and then I'm like in such a good scene. Like I literally love the scene I'm writing, and it doesn't make sense to my brain to be like, okay, let's take a break. And I had an idea of what I was about to write next, but my brain's like, let's take a break. So I pick up my phone, I start scrolling, and then I'm like, okay, time to write again. So I put my phone down, get out my document, and then I just stare at it because I'm like, what was I thinking about again? What was the next sentence? It was so good, I remember it. And then I like spend like the next 10 minutes trying to remember what I was supposed to write. And I could have just like written a note or something, but my brain worked. Like, is this just me? Am I just weird? Like, I don't know why my brain decides to do that. Um, but it does. So that's basically what I do to write. I sit down, get on my document, read the last few chapters or last few paragraphs usually, and then I get straight stuck into it. I don't really do any warm up exercises, which is interesting because for a lot of different hobbies, maybe, or at least for like drawing, for example, people do like warm up sketches. Writers don't do that, do they? That's interesting. I never really thought about that before. Hmm. That is very interesting. Sorry, I'm just like thinking of a new video idea, maybe. Anyways, yeah, so that's basically what I do. That's my routine. Write as much as I can, but since it's so busy as a student going to school, it's not pretty. I can tell you that much. But yeah, I want to definitely, you know, I want to know how your guys's sort of routines look like, and if I can maybe adopt one of yours because mine is not okay. I have a bad routine and I need to change it. I know. I just want to write so much in the morning, but I just can't at all. I can't bring myself to wake up. Like period. I can't wake up. But yeah, so either at uni or at home. Usually at home I write in the afternoons. And I've talked about this in one of my episodes, I think, but like literally if you're on video podcast, I'm just going to show you guys what my sort of look how pretty the sky is. Oh my golly. Do you see like that sort of, what do you call it? It's like the golden hour? Yes. The golden hour is where I write best, like right now. So I should be writing, guys, but I'm making a podcast. I'm talking to you guys, okay? So you're welcome. Anyways, this is like exactly like when I can see the sun like go through the clouds, and it like I don't know what is it about. Like I don't even know. Maybe it's like because I get scared that it's going to be night soon and I want to like get some writing in before. But then again, I get really inspired in this hour. It's really weird, but I think a lot of people can maybe relate, maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy, but usually when I write at home, it's like literally at this hour. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my routine. Very messy, very realistic. I try my best, and yeah, I basically just sit down and write. I don't brainstorm really, or sometimes I research. It depends. Like if I don't feel like writing, I will research. If I don't feel like or don't need to research, of course I'll write. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode this week. I love you guys, and I hope to see you in my next one. Good luck with your project. Blah, 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 blah. Good luck with your projects. Sorry, tongue-tied. Tongue-tied. Just like how I am when I try to write my book. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.